So if you were to look around my room, you would see that I'm a pretty avid action figure and collectible, collector of sorts. If you look over on this particular wall, you can see a bunch of stuff Batman related, and Avengers, and all that kind of stuff. Darth Vader right here in the middle, and a Dalek over here, and so on and so forth. Most of my collectibles are actually still in box, at least the more recent ones that I get. And you can actually see right here, there's a figure in box on my wall. I actually had two and I opened one. Sometimes I'll do that if I can afford it and if the deals are nice, but usually with the Japanese stuff, the anime-based stuff, like you can see over here, I have two Ken Cole figures, which I've done videos on, as well as some DC comic stuff, Wonder Woman, Catwoman, Batgirl over here, boing boing, and Catwoman over here as well. And even down on the shelves, the TARDIS and Spock and Kirk and Optimus Prime and that kind of stuff. So, but the point being, I love collecting action figures, and you can see most of this stuff strewn around my room. Some of it sits in my hall closet in boxes. I do have a lot of figures that are actually loose and put in sort of a like a cooler. It's like made out of plastic. Just standing them up, and hopefully the paint won't run off of them and everything, because I have opened them. But I also have, like, I'll just sit down while I'm recording here, and we got the two Sword Art Online figures here. If I turn the camera around, you can actually see on my table some of the newer ones that I've done videos for. And the whole point of this video is not really to do a room tour. It's more along the lines of to say, as somebody who is an anime fan, there's lots of figures I would love to get my hands on. Sometimes I'm lucky enough to find discounts. In the case of all the figures I've shown in this video, they were all supremely discounted, and I would not have been able to get them otherwise, because a lot of this stuff is just uber expensive. I always have this particular qualm when it comes to figures that relate to series I'm not familiar with, that I could potentially get. And there are figures that, are from shows I've never even heard of, that are just very meticulously crafted, well done pieces. I'll always have this reservation that, well, I'm not familiar with that series, so maybe I shouldn't get it. There have been figures I've gotten where I know nothing about the comic they have to do with, or I know nothing about the anime they have to do with, and stuff like that. But it's usually few and far between, and there's always that level of, well, I don't know if I want this sitting on my shelf, and then somebody comes in and asks me about it, and I'm just like, well, I just got it because it was pretty. I don't know anything about it. I've always wondered if I was the only one who had that situation where you don't necessarily pick something up unless you recognize it, unless it, is something you already have interest in. Because it's almost like money well spent if you do have a connection to it. If you don't, it might just sit on your shelf and amount to nothing. I don't know if I'm the only one who goes through that, but as an action figure collector and such, I'd love to hear from anyone else out there who collects such things. And if you ever find yourself purposely not picking something up, even if you have a discount available, just because you don't necessarily feel a connection to it, even though you like it and it looks like something interesting, you may ignore it because you're just not familiar with it. Let me know.